Hello there, how is the form? Um, just over at the AD plant here, and just over just to check just how things are going, and to make sure everything is as it should be. So the last time we were over here, it was kind of a bit of a quite a rough ad hoc biology lesson in anaerobic digestion. This isn't going to be just as detailed, but I know that a lot of people are very interested in it, and a lot of people are very interested in just how the whole thing works and how the whole just how it all how it all comes about. So we are currently sitting at the minute, and we have all our crops cut. The pits are full, and that is going to be our feed for hopefully for the most of the year. We are going to take another cut of silage off ground, hopefully in the next wee while. I know I said grass was finished, but the growth that we've had over this plot of ground has been mad. Last year we actually grazed sheep on it, but it's just too lush, and it's full of clover, so it'd be silly to waste it. So whenever you've got grass like that, it would be an absolute sin to waste it. The ground itself is really dry. Adam was able to drive our bus through. Yes, we have a bus. Adam was able to drive it through it, and I mean, it held him grand. There was no issues there at all. So that is definitely going to be in the pipeline, because it never does any harm just having a wee bit extra, because you just don't know how everything is going to pan out, and you never say no to a bit of extra silage, especially at this time of the year. So after the last AD plant video, there was an awful lot of questions, and there was an awful lot of comments just about I think a lot of people had never actually seen kind of in round one, and had never really probably had it explained in such vague basic terms, but it's good to know that people are interested in it, and it's good to know that people are certainly keen to know more about them. As I said to you in the last video, we run this facility on behalf of Assured Energy. It's an agri-comp site, so we basically just do the day-to-day running and the feeding of it, and very basic maintenance and upkeep, and then the engineers from agri-comp, they do all the mechanical and anything that needs to be properly fixed or done or whatever. So it works really well for us. Definitely goes hand in hand with the contracting, and so I've just logged in into the control system here, just to see what's going on today. So everything there is looking good. We have no red circles and no red alarms, which is exactly what you want to see. That means everything is working as it should be. Everything's grand. Everything is still within its limits and stuff. So I'll turn you around here, and I'll just show you and explain to you just what everything means. So that's a very basic overview just of the two tanks. So this is our feeder here. So that's the veil frass there. So as it stands, there is just under 20 tonne in the feeder there still to be fed today. So these here are your mixers, and then this here is your temperature inside the tank. So the 50 degrees or sort of in and around that is the temperature there that you're looking for the breaking down to take place. And then if we look then at the 4.6 meters, that is just the height of the bialine, and the bialine is the elastic plastic cover that is on the top of the tanks that contains the gas. This here is where the lactose is stored and then is pumped in. So the lactose or whey, that just aids the breaking down process, and that's another input into it. This is a pump which pumps from tank 1 through to tank 2. So the tank 2 is the digestate that has been broken down. So it is sitting there. The bialine's not just as high in it, but everything's still going, and both the mixtures there are going on both tanks, and yeah, everything's looking good there. And then this here is the storage facility, so that there's the tank underneath the shed. So that's your engines, so both of them there are sitting ticking away nicely and just under, well, in and around that 250 mark each. So she's going there at full 500 kilowatt there today, which is exactly what we want to see. So the system here itself is actually is really intelligent and is really smart. So I actually have this on the laptop at home, so I can jump in and see what's going on. So if there's an alarm does go off, you can log in remotely and you can actually see for yourself just what is going on. So one of the main things that would happen maybe on a regular basis would be that there would be an issue with the feed. And whenever I say an issue with the feed, I mean that there's been a problem with the feed actually going into that's been fed in through into tank 1. So whenever we look at this sort of tells us then if there's been any problems. So if you can see here, we've got a nice straight, gradually going down line. So that means that she's feeding there at the rate that she wants to be fed. So at the minute, feed wise, she's actually been pulled back to 28 tonne. So that is made up of 8 tonne of whole crop and then 20 tonne of silage. So it seems to be going good. We pulled it back from the 30 tonne of just pure grass, because whenever you put in whenever you swap silage with something such as whole crop or maize or anything like that with a bit of extra oomph in it, you don't need just as much silage to compensate for that. So in terms of the grass and everything that we're obviously feeding her, it's quite hard to keep on top of just kind of what's on where, and just to know what you're feeding. Obviously, just like whenever you're feeding cows, your first cut will have a different nutritional value to your second and third. So if we do go through a period where she maybe isn't running as efficiently as what we want, or we think we're feeding a wee bit too much of one cut, we can always mix and match that. And then we have this laid out here on, very roughly, on a board in the control room, just to kind of give us, just to remind us kind of what is in where. So the weather today is unreal. It's the 4th of November, so this is like a day that you would be seeing in September. It is quite cold, but it doesn't really matter whenever you get blue sky and there is a bit of wind at all. So yes, we will take a lot more of that if we can. So yeah, I'm just walking out around here just to see the tanks and stuff. So there's your Vilfras there, so that's your feeder, that's what we're loading the grass into. Adam was actually saying he was going to do a wee video some morning that he's feeding her, just to kind of show you all that kind of stuff being done, and just to show you the method and all behind it, and the checks and stuff that he has to do every day. So it is really interesting. It's definitely something that is diverse. So I'm just standing up here on just kind of this wee platform between the two tanks. So there is one of the paddle mixers, and then there's another one over at the other side. So essentially what that is a double-ended spoon, and what that is doing is just continually stirring and mixing inside the tanks there. So that is tank 2. So if I can get up here without breaking my neck, it's quite that'll be nice to see on camera. Ugh. There is inside. So she's only after just feeding, so I don't think you were able to see that actually in the last video, but there's those 3 big augers in there, and whenever they move, that's what draws the silage down on and through, and that is how it all gets in there, just into here. So our separator's still on, still working away, so I'll just show you. So whenever we pull out the dry matter out of the digestate, that's what you're left with. So that's just what hasn't been broken down in the process, basically, of the anaerobic digestion. So it just goes through there. So definitely makes such a difference whenever you're going and spreading it in the fields. It just means it is just like water that's coming out of the tank. So whenever I was saying about the odd time we can encounter problems with our feeding, what happens is she can bridge herself, basically, and what that is, it's just like a ring feeder. If you have a cow or a calf pulling silage out of a ring feeder and they're eating up from underneath, it's just the stuff from above falls in on top of it and kind of blocks everything. So that's just basically what that is, and it just means that you have to sort of go and just kind of give her a bit of a wobble and a bit of a shake, just to make sure that you get rid of that kind of gap of space that has been created there. So yeah, not very much can go wrong. But so pit wise, there is what we're feeding there at the minute. So that's the silage there that she is getting. And then if we go to pit 2, there's the whole crop that she's getting. So just like everything else that whenever you're feeding grass to, sometimes it just takes a wee bit of trial and error just to kind of get your rations right and stuff. And an AD plant is no different. It just depends on the quality of the silage that you've made, and things like if it went in dry, if it went in wet, how much power's in it and stuff. So I'll actually run over here and just show you this chop length. I'm in the car, so I'm kind of being lazy. You would spend all day walking around here. Right, so I'm standing here over beside the whole crop, so you can see it is quite good stuff, to be fair, but like chop wise it's quite fine. So that's been the 1180 there, making, that's been cutting that. So yeah, so whenever I was saying before, you know, about why we opted to buy the 1180, obviously the finer that everything is chopped down, the faster the breaking down process is. So it helps massively. Let me go in here. So there's one pit untouched, so that there's maize that's in there, and then this is another one of silage. So yeah, filled in rightly. It's actually quite hard to believe that we are so far back in these first two pits, because they were filled right up to the walls, which came to there. So we are quite well through it already. So that is just a wee update on the AD plant. Probably would have been the end of June, start of July the last time I was kind of sort of showed you anything about it. So I'm sure you've seen plenty actually throughout the year of just the grass going in and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. Ooh. So yeah, I just thought that whenever I was down today, just kind of just checking out everything, that I would sort of show you the crack. I know the last time we were chatting about the AD plant, these pits were all completely empty, and now they're far from it, and there's still a bit more to go in. So yeah, it's whenever she's eating, you know, somewhere around 30 tonne a day. Doesn't really last too long, but fingers crossed everything kind of keeps going well. As I said earlier on, we're kind of coming up to the start point in the year where we're going to find out actually just how efficient she is. So obviously optimum efficiency is 100%. Last year I think we finished at 97, which was really good, because there had been some, you know, issues and some teething problems just throughout the year, but it just shows you, you know, it's nice to see in black and white, you know, that what you're doing is good, and that, you know, you're making good silage for it, you're feeding it well, everything's being kept on top of. So Adam is the main man over here. This is his third child. Well, actually it was probably his first child, and everything else just kind of comes behind it. But yeah, it's a real, it's quite an intense thing to kind of to be involved in as well at the same time. You know, if there's a power outage, or if there's an alarm, she messages, and she will keep messaging until that is rectified or that is fixed. Similarly, if an engine goes off or if she's not feeding properly. So she tells you whenever something is wrong, which is quite different from a cow. You have to sort of find that out for yourself. But yeah, that is the story. If you have any more questions on the AD plant, or on you know, why this is done like this, or any of the rest of that sort of stuff, please let me know. Now the boys are a bit quieter and they're in the yard, I can kind of get them tied down and, you know, start hitting them with proper questions. So if there is anything in particular that you do want to know, please do let me know. Your calf video is coming next week. Christopher has agreed to talk to me, so that's good. And then we're going to do a meet the team, and I have a couple other ideas, just as stuff kind of on the lead up to Christmas before we do the roundup video of this year, so I haven't even looked back to see what sort of footage I have. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not, but whatever. I think there's quite a few households that are waiting for it because they're fed up listening to the music in the other videos. But we will get that done and dusted very, very soon. Thanks again for all the support and all the comments and all the likes and shares and everything else. Greatly appreciated. And if you are watching this and you haven't subscribed, please do, because there's a lot more to come. And yeah, right, coffee time. Need to go and gather up my 2 bambinos, and I will hopefully have a wee video for you on Sunday. But if I don't fear, you'll get something at some stage. Right, I'm away. Be good, and I'll chat to you soon.